Today what I want to cover, it's going to be pretty basic. I've gotten just an incredible amount of calls and questions really on Facebook and really just from an understanding perspective. So my goal over the next 20 minutes today is to kind of take you through really to the Facebook business page and try to explain the functionality of it, how it works, and give you a better understanding for you to understand what you have. You know, one thing I'm going to be very blunt about and very upfront about is, you know, you guys, if you're struggling now or you're a little confused, you know, that should kind of scare you a bit because, you know, we're in year 9 of this. And I guess my point is the agencies that are really taking this to the next level, they're at the advanced level. And if you're going to get to that level or at least get to a mid-range level, you're going to have the confidence to go on to Facebook and at least trial and error and play around and learn how it works. If you don't understand the buttons and how it works, how can you possibly utilize it and use it to get clients, right? So I don't mean to be negative. I'm just trying to be upfront and try to say that, you know, everyone needs to drop their fear at the door and come into Facebook, play around with it. Nothing bad's going to happen. Learn about the buttons, learn how it functions. It's going to help you get to the next level. So what we're looking at right now is we're looking at an old friend and a current client by the name of Dan Santora. And Dan is the owner of a company called The Insurance Place. So I figured what I would do is I would log in as Dan, because most of you are probably logging in just like he would. And I think it's just important to understand that Dan has both his personal page, which you're looking at, and if I click on owner at The Insurance Place, he has his business page for his agency, okay? So the first thing I always, you know, hope people understand is how to get back and forth from each page, okay? So if you're on your personal page, there's 2 ways you can get to your business page. Now, this is assuming that I've created you a business page, and for those of you that have come on and you've just started with my services, you may not be an administrator yet on your business page. So, you know, don't go trying this in 2 seconds. It's possible that I just created your page yesterday and you haven't been made an admin. But for anybody who's been with us a while, we certainly have set it up correctly for you. So, again, when you come to your personal page, there's 2 ways you can get to your business page. One, you should be able to click on your job over here. You'll see it says owner at The Insurance Place. If I click on that, I can go right back to his business page, okay, which he is the admin on. To get back to my personal page, you're going to want to click on your name up here in the upper right, okay? That's going to take you back to your personal page. Okay? The other way you can get to your business page is you can click on the drop-down arrow in the upper right here. Okay? So if I click on that, you will see all of his pages. Now, he only has 1, and I'm going to select The Insurance Place. So that's going to allow me to go to his business page. But when I do that, you're going to now see in the upper right-hand corner that his name is gone, and it says The Insurance Place. So to get back to his personal page, again, I'm going to click the drop-down arrow and select Dan Santora. Okay, so that's definitely a common mistake I think a lot of people struggle with. They have no concept where they actually are on Facebook. If you're taking notes, break it down like this. There are 3 possible places you can be. You can be on your personal page, and of course, when you're on your personal page, you can post right here. When you post, it's going to your friends. Okay, that's who it's going to. So that's 1 place you can be. 2, you can be on your business page. Again, almost identical to your personal page. You can post right here. When you post, it's going to go to your fans, the people that like the page. And the 3rd place you can go to is when you click on the home button. This takes you to your news feed. So I'm looking at Dan Santora's news feed. What he's going to see are all the people he's friends with and all the pages he's fans of, their posts. This is his post ticker, okay? No one else in the world sees Dan's news feed. Only Dan sees it. Another common question, hey, my friend Mary Kate posted something I don't want my friends to see this. Don't worry, they don't. They would only see this if they were friends of Mary Kate, okay? So that's an important thing to understand. Where are you, and what pages are there? There's pretty much 3 pages you can go to. So if we go to Dan's business page, the next thing I want to address, and this is what really I get most of my phone calls on, is that when you go to your business page, you have to accept the fact, and I'll kind of slow down here, you have to accept the fact that you are the administrator of the page, okay? This means you're going to see all of the administrator tools. For whatever reason, this flips people out. They can't handle that fact. You can't imagine how many people I've had call me up to say, hey, people can see who my fans are, all my new fans. People can see the messages I'm getting. People can see the notifications. No, guys, no one sees that. Only you see it because you're the administrator. So here's a tip for everybody. If you get a chance, and I'm not going to do it this second, but if you get a chance, go on to Facebook and go into the upper right-hand corner, okay? And click this little drop-down arrow and select Log Out. Okay, so now you're logged out as Dan. Now, one thing you should know, and I'll try to go slow here, is you should know your Facebook web address, okay? Every Facebook page, just like every other website, has a web address. So how do you get that web address? Well, at the top of every post, you're going to see your page name, okay? You'll see his is the insurance place, right? If I right-click on this with my mouse and hit Copy Shortcut, and I go to Microsoft Word and hit right-click Paste, there's his web address right there, guys, facebook.com/theinsuranceplace. So I guess my point is this. It's pretty important, in my opinion, that you understand what your web address is on Facebook, okay? And it's pretty hard to get people to your page if you don't even know the address. So, okay, what I was getting at, guys, is that you can log out of Facebook. So now you're not logged in as Dan. If you then go back into Facebook and put that address in the toolbar, you will then see your page in non-admin mode, okay? So here's his page, how everyone else sees it. This is how everybody else in the world, other than Dan, sees his business page. Now, if I flip back, here it was in admin mode. We had this big admin panel up here, right? We had all this stuff up here, all these buttons. If we go to the non-admin page, doesn't exist. Consumer doesn't see that. All the consumer sees are his posts, right? His likes, and his recommendations. And they obviously see his toolbar here as well, right, where they can go and they can click on his Shop for Insurance button, take a look at his insurance products. Obviously, that's something I've created for you guys. Now, again, if we go back to the admin page, now we're in as Dan again. If we click on that Shop for Insurance button as an admin, guess what happens? And again, I've gotten this phone call maybe 300 times in the last 2 years. People say, hey, my Shop for Insurance app isn't working. I see all this weird stuff. Well, no, it's working. It's working perfectly. What you're seeing is you're seeing the actual admin version of the app, right? So when you click on Shop for Insurance, everyone's going to see this. Why do you see this? Because you're the admin, and the admin can control the page. So if you want to see the Shop for Insurance application like we saw here, just click this little preview button here, and it'll display. I guess my point, guys, is this, guys. I don't mean to be technical, but my point is Facebook is very complicated, okay? And as you can see, I've benefited from it because I've created my own friggin' application for it. So you have to understand and just accept the fact that there is a lot of levels of strategy involved here. And the thing I'm trying to get across in today's webinar is maybe you don't have to be an expert about all this stuff, but at least start the process in your mind that, hey, there's some complicated stuff going on here, and my first step to being better at this is to understand that it does function in different ways. So what I suggest you do is you go, and I'll go back to log in as Dan here if my computer doesn't want to blow up. Bear with me a second, guys. I'll go back into Dan as an admin here and kind of go through some of the buttons. So when you come into your page, you're going to see pretty much 5 different things in your admin panel. One, you're going to see what's called the notifications area. And you'll see that Linda Norman, she commented, right? Well, that up here is kind of like a ticker of all the activity on your page. If we were to scroll down, right, to one of these posts, see if we can find it. Well, I'm not sure where she just commented somewhere. Oh, here it is. You'll see that she had a recent post right here, right? Dan, do you guys write Small Health? It's like a lead. That went up into his notifications. So my point is when people are commenting and when they're liking, all of that stuff is always going to show up in your notifications ticker. Something you should pay attention to, okay? When you're getting new fans, those are people coming to the page and clicking the like button. You'll see that he's got 159, okay? You can monitor those fans by going here and clicking on the See All button next to New Likes. These are people that are now fans of your page. This is actually the distribution you have. So every time Dan posts, it goes to all these people. This is his distribution. And sure, he can go through each one, send them a message, see who they are, call them up. To me, these are potential leads, guys. It's something that you should be monitoring, absolutely. Now, he doesn't have any messages here, but if someone did send you a message, now, this is a new feature, and you may be asking, well, what does that mean? If I go to the insurance place in the non-logged-in mode, well, it's not going to let me do it. But if I was logged in, I could actually send Dan a message. And right here, it's not here because I'm not logged in, but right here is a button that says Message. Okay, you guys just have to believe me that it's there. Now, here's kind of a little trivia question for any experts on here. Why does the Message button not appear? The reason the Message button doesn't appear is because I'm not logged in as a user on Facebook. So how could I send a message to somebody? Facebook doesn't know who I am. So it's just kind of understanding how that works. If I was logged in, the Message button would appear, and I would be able to send a message to Dan. So I have a client, it's pretty funny. He's like, nothing's going on with Facebook. I haven't gotten any leads. I haven't gotten anything. And I said, well, you know, I've been handling his social media management. So I came to his page, and I went up and looked in the message area here. The guy had 5 messages from clients. 3 of them were leads, asking about the products he offered and all that. Now, he just had the settings turned off, so he wasn't receiving the notifications via email. So my point is this, guys. My point is you should be going to Facebook once a day, taking a look at your business page, and at least looking up here in this messages area and looking in this notifications area. See who's talking to you. You never know, it may be a lead. Even though you may not take it seriously, the consumer absolutely takes it seriously, and they consider it part of your deal, okay? So, again, I apologize for anyone on the call that maybe finds this a little beginner, but you know, I think sometimes you have to go through the basics to get to the next level. So it's important to understand this panel. It makes a lot of sense. It's a big part of your screen. So as I mentioned before, that if you go to your business page and you actually right-click on your address down here, it's at the top of every post, that you can actually get your web address for Facebook. Now, Dan and the insurance place, they have 159 fans, okay? Once you get 25 fans, you can customize your web address. So my point is that Facebook offers what's called a customized web address. Once you get 25 fans, you can make it say Facebook.com, you know, insurance place, Facebook.com, Bob's Insurance. But if you're just starting, I bet your web address looks something like this. You know, it could be like this long. Could have 1 million numbers in it and all sorts of stuff. So if you're just starting out and you go here and you right-click here and you paste it and you go, wow, that's a long web address, that means you haven't set up your username yet. So if you go into your, and again, don't be scared to click on these buttons, guys. If you go up here and click on Edit Page, and you click on, Update Info, the first thing you're going to kind of see your tab over here where you can control everything on Facebook. And the first thing you're going to come into is you're going to come into like the basic info for your page. And everyone should go in here and make sure all this is complete. What you'll see right off the bat is you're going to see username, okay? And you'll see that Dan has his set. So if you're one of these people that has over 25 fans and your Facebook web address is still really long, that means you haven't set up your username. Just come in here and click on username and change it to whatever you want. Now the disclaimer is that you can only change it once, okay? So be careful with that. Think about what you want it to be. So does anyone have any questions on what we kind of covered today? You know, one thing I'll note, guys, is that I do offer a lot of social media coaching and consulting. You know, and if you're at the point where maybe you need an hour of my time to really go through all this stuff, by all means, we offer it. Yes, there is a cost, but on the flip side, you know, if we can get you to the next level in an hour, it may save you 10 hours of fooling around. So that may be a better way to look at it. I do plan on doing a few kind of next level, you know, level 2, level 3, level 4 webinars on this coming up in the next few weeks. But I think today was a good introductory webinar to get you guys thinking about how it works. Remember, and I see a few questions,